Hi, my name is Micah, and this is my video presentation for COM 263, where I will be reacting to the article that we have discussed in class, as well as providing an example on a modern American culture or a practice that may not be something that other countries around the world have. So while I was watching the video of the article, I was kind of in shock. Had a lot of questions about this tribe that they were describing, um, and the ways that they went along and with their practices. Um, some of the things I was thinking was like, where has this tribe been like residing? Why haven't we um, heard much about them? And um, why haven't they kind of been brought up to speed per se? Um, Knowing there's a lot of tribes that are still very remote, um, the things that they were describing in this tribe just seemed way out of almost this world in terms of their practices. But once I realized they were talking about the United States and how we go about things, it not only actually made sense, it was kind of shocking at how it made sense. And it was very eye-opening to see how a lot of us aren't happy with the way that we live and the way um, things around us happen. We always try and change who we are and can't really effectively do that without some sort of big external um, power or like help, I suppose. Um, it was just really crazy to see and hear about ourselves, essentially. One practice that I chose that the U.S. has that other countries don't is firearms. Firearms are a great deal in American lives. Tons of Americans own firearms, and from an outside perspective, that might come off as kind of threatening, but also kind of confusing as to why Americans feel the need to have such force. Um, Not only with um, the violence that has been on the rise revolving around firearms, but just the overall need to have them, because a lot of people in other countries don't have the laws that we do, and so they have grown to kind of question America in terms of our firearm usage, and they just see it as something that is not necessarily needed in a day-to-day society. Patterns that change throughout with firearms. Back in the day, hundreds of years ago, when we first got the rights, it was very rudimentary firearms, nothing like we see today. So throughout history, guns have evolved and they have become more powerful, able to hold more rounds, longer range, smaller, concealable. And so, depending on which way you look at that, um, they are still used for the same purpose, but they have evolved in other ways. Something else that has evolved with firearms is laws revolving around them. In recent times, we have started to see more stricter laws revolving around firearms and the usage, age limits. Some are outright banned. Um, we see like capacity laws where you're only able to have a certain amount of rounds within it. Um, Carry laws, the list can go on. So that's something else that has kind of changed or evolved throughout time and our history with guns. In terms of being beneficial, there's two sides kind of on this one. One side would say it's our rights that shall not be infringed on. It's a part of our lives. We have the right to defend ourselves. And the other side would say getting guns off the street would make our cities safer, safer for our kids, and just completely wiping guns from existence essentially in our lives would make it cleaner and safer. And then the flip to that would then be bad guys would still possess firearms, whether they're legal or not. A lot of them already do. And taking them away from law-abiding citizens would just be detrimental, as we would no longer be able to protect ourselves from the people who do not listen. As Glenn Glasser of Glasser 22 wrote in an article, many proposed laws would have no impact on curbing mass shootings. So that's another thing that's been talked about a lot, is a lot of these laws don't necessarily touch on the actual issue. Like, a lot of these mass shootings we have seen have been used things that haven't necessarily been touched on yet, and so that's sparking a lot of controversy within the two sides of the argument. So that is my video reaction. Thank you.